Welcome to this explainer. Okay, let's dive right into something that frustrates so many of us at home. We are going to look at how to stop making those incredibly common cooking mistakes just by using some really simple, controlled techniques. Today, we're essentially pulling back the curtain on high-end kitchens to see exactly how they treat humble ingredients, like the Jerusalem artichoke, and turn them into absolute magic.
We've got this absolutely brilliant quote to kick things off. A Michelin-starred touch doesn't mean expensive ingredients. It means controlled cooking, textural contrast, and a clean plate. I love this because it totally changes the game. Michelin quality isn't about spending an absolute fortune on luxury stuff. It's about taking control of your process so you dictate the final texture rather than just crossing your fingers and hoping for the best.
So here's our roadmap for today. We're starting with technique over ingredients, and then we're going to tackle 4 critical mistakes head-on: oxidized vegetables, frying your aromatics, overcooking, and ruining the finish.
All right, Michelin quality requires technique. Let's set our foundation. Because when you strip away the heavy sauces and all that complex culinary smoke and mirrors, pure technique is what's left standing.
Take a look at our minimalist ingredient list here. We've got Jerusalem artichokes, carrot, potato, shallots, leek, lemon, olive oil, honey, salt, white pepper, vegetable broth, and some dill or fennel. Simple, right? But the intention behind these is what matters. For instance, the honey is in there purely for balance, not to make it sweet. And the lemon? It's actually a vital color preserver, not just a source of acidity. Every single thing has a very specific job to do. We'll be following 4 sequential steps to pull this off: preparation, building the aromatic base, the main cooking phase, and finishing. If you master this flow, you create a dish that whispers elegance instead of shouting.
Let's start with step 1, which brings us to mistake 1, oxidized vegetables. This is where things usually go wrong before you even turn on the stove.
You know when you peel an apple, leave it on the counter, and it just turns that sad, murky brown? Well, oxidation is the exact same process. Chefs affectionately call the Jerusalem artichoke an apple cousin because if you peel it and just leave it sitting on your cutting board, oxidation begins immediately. And boom, its pristine, elegant color is ruined.
The problem is leaving those peeled vegetables exposed to the air. The super simple solution? Plunge them directly into lemon water the literal second you chop them. Seriously, this 2-second habit is the difference between a murky, amateur-looking dish and a bright, professional-looking plate.
Moving right along to mistake 2, frying the aromatics. With our artichokes safely resting in their lemon water, it's time to build our flavor base in a heavy pan.
The common trap here is aggressively browning and frying the shallots and leeks. We all do it, right? You crank up the heat to save a little time. But the technique to prevent this mistake is gentle aromatic softening. The goal is absolutely not to fry them. You want to gently soften them until they're sweet, translucent, and deeply flavorful. They need to quietly support the dish, not completely overwhelm it. Next up, mistake 3, overcooking to mush. Once our aromatic base is perfectly sweet, we add our star vegetables and the broth. And honestly, this is where your patience is going to be tested. Overcooking is basically the death of elegance. The mistake is boiling the pan until everything just falls apart into a watery puree. The fix? A tightly controlled simmer. You want those veggies to soften and retain their textural contrast. They should be tender enough to yield to a fork for sure, but firm enough to hold their beautiful shape.
And the magic number here? 20 to 25. To get that perfect texture, you must respect the clock. Cook the dish covered over very low heat for exactly 20 to 25 minutes. Not 10 minutes on high, not 40 minutes on low. That specific window is where the magic of texture actually lives.
Finally, we hit mistake 4, ruining the finish. The timer goes off, the cooking is officially done, but do not let your guard down. So many people trip right at the finish line. Now, you might be wondering, why does the final drizzle of olive oil actually matter so much? I mean, if we already cooked with oil, why on earth are we adding more at the end? Isn't that just totally redundant? It is absolutely not redundant. But here is the massive mistake: adding that high-quality finishing oil and lemon juice while the pan is hot and the burner is still on. Doing that literally kills those delicate, fresh compounds. The pro solution? Always add them raw, completely off the heat. That vibrant, fresh aroma is what hits your nose before you even take a single bite. For a Michelin-style presentation, the rule is not suffocation, but elegance.
When you're plating, arrange the vegetables neatly in the center. Drizzle them with a little of that reduced stock and the rich olive oil, and garnish with some dill sprigs. Let the ingredients breathe. Let them show off their natural shapes.
Here's a really fun fact about this type of cooking. The classic arrogance of olive oil dishes is that they actually taste even better the next day. Chefs joke about this all the time. These dishes demand to sit in your fridge for 24 hours while the flavors meld together, becoming deeper and way more complex for tomorrow's lunch.
A good olive oil dish doesn't say, "Eat me." It comes silently and makes you finish the plate. When you execute with these precise, simple techniques, stopping oxidation, softening instead of frying, locking in that simmer, and finishing off the heat, the food truly speaks for itself. It comes silently, with perfect texture, and you just devour it.
And as the chef wisely notes, sometimes the hardest thing in a Michelin-starred kitchen is to appear simple, because simplicity cannot hide flaws. That hits the nail right on the head. When a dish is this minimal, you can't hide behind heavy cream or a mountain of spices. Simplicity actually demands perfection in your technique.
So, I want to leave you with this. How will you use these foundational techniques of control and precision to elevate your next simple meal? Think about it the next time you pick up a peeler. Which of these simple, mistake-preventing habits are you going to bring into your kitchen tonight? Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and hey, happy cooking!